this beautiful Friday in June, I'd like to get to another shout out. And today's shout out is Viola's Baked and Cooked Delights, $15.96, and C.J.'s Fairy Forest, $18.14, and Finding Joy in the Journey. These three channels again provide a variety of interesting information and bring us along and show us what's going on in their lives. And I wanted to focus on these three today and give them a shout out for being great channels and for adding a lot to my life. There's a lot to do outside. I need to harvest the loveage and plant some cucumbers, so let's get going. I've got the trug all cleaned up and ready to put harvest in. I took the peas out yesterday from here because they told me they were finished. I picked off what ones I could and I put the rest in the compost. So it's time to give this a little clean, refresh the soil, put some fertilizer, and I'm going to plant some climbing beans and cucumbers. I'm planting Market More cucumbers. And this is a variety that I got at the dollar store. I like to make little mounds and put anything like cucumbers, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, pumpkins, even zucchini. And I do at least 3 or 4, this time I did 5, 6 seeds, because of the amount of time it takes to germinate. This gives you a little more insurance that things will actually germinate and grow. So we'll put some by each leg of the tripod that my son built me. And I've got to get this watered because it's very dry. I will put some cucumbers here and here, and then over on these two sides I'm going to put climbing beans. And these climbing beans are the Blue Lake variety. I like using this tripod with this big pot underneath it so that I can grow up a different variety of vegetables. I just took out the peas from here. I do have a broccoli in the center, but that's going to come out pretty soon. And then we'll have cucumbers on one side and Blue Lake pole beans on the other side. Here's the peas on this side. They're starting to look yellow. I don't know if it's the heat or if they have a disease. But I do have a lot of peas between here and over here, which is pretty exciting. This is the best I've had peas grow in a very long time. And look down here. 2 little crowns of broccoli forming on the same plant. My heirloom rhubarb is looking very good. I'm going to have to cut this or retrain this grapevine over here. And it's nice to see the grapes are looking a lot better because they did get a late season frost. So we'll tuck the grapes back, the ones that are getting out of control. The ones I can't tuck back, I just trim off because there's going to be plenty of them. It's nice to see that they're doing so much better now. So let's harvest some rhubarb, and you're not supposed to cut it off, but you're supposed to take it down close to where it comes out of the ground and pull like this. The smell is so fresh and incredible. So let's get some of this rhubarb harvested. I only harvest a few. I never harvest more than half, so not to overtax the plant. Then I wait till it comes back to be able to harvest more. So this isn't a bad harvest for today. I reduced the amount of the rhubarb by about half, and that's what's left. So I will let it regenerate, and I'm going to put some more fertilizer in there and water it, continue to weed it, and let it recover before I harvest some more. I'm going to cut off these leaves and put them into the compost. And I just wanted to remind you not to let any pets or children around the leaves because they are toxic. They are fine to put in your compost because of the heat that breaks down the leaves, and they won't be any problem to anyone. But just don't let anything or anyone eat the leaves. They are toxic. So let's get this taken care of. Then it's time to harvest the lovage. I also cut off the end of the rhubarb. So all I have to do is take it in the house, wash it up really well, chop it up, and then I will be simmering it or just barely blanching it to add it to strawberries, sugar, flour, and making a strawberry rhubarb pie. You can't beat that. The smell of this reminds me of our mom putting us out on the little cement patio in front of our house. We grew up in the mountains on 25 acres, and it was just wonderful. And she'd give us each a cutting board and a butcher knife. And yes, we learned how to handle knives safely, even when we were young, and that's part of the reason why we know how to do the things we do now. So she would have everything all washed, and then she would have us chop it up. And she must have had tons of rhubarb because we were out there for a long time, chopping off the tops and the bottoms, cutting them up into pieces, and then she'd wash them again and she would freeze them. So that's a wonderful, wonderful memory. The rhubarb leaves in the compost, and it's time to harvest the lovage. My husband was able to get the post cemented in the shade pavilion, so he's going to let that set for a while. Then we're going to have it be roofed by one of his subcontractors, and pretty soon, when it's all stable, we will take off the 4 2x4s around it. So that's an exciting advancement. And this is the bush that we had to move, the blueberry bush that we had to move in order to put the shade pavilion there. Yesterday I amended the soil and I planted marigolds and basil around the base of this plant. So we'll see how that works out. Some of these little pots haven't worked very well, and I've had to replant them several times. So we'll take what we can get. The sage right down here is doing okay. And over there, there's some spinach and some carrots. So that's pretty exciting. Loveage is an awesome plant. I read that it is considered a spice because it's great for flavoring stews and soups and different things like that. It's very close, and I think it's in the family of celery, and it smells very much like celery. So you could actually pick some, wash it up, chop it, and use it fresh in a potato salad or any other way that you would use celery. I think it's an awesome herb to use, and so far I've been cutting off the leaves, taking it in the house and washing it well with my vinegar or salt soak, drying it off, and then dehydrating it to use as an herb in the future. Loveage is harvested, and I harvested some Lemonbalm so I can dehydrate it and put it away to make teas for winter. The first hollyhock of the season. Isn't it beautiful? We get a lot of bug damage here and rust on the leaves, but I either strip them off or just try to enjoy them for what they are. strawberries are looking very beautiful this morning. I've been fertilizing them and making sure there's no weeds. Yesterday I put some slug bait out on them, and I really think it's helped already. So I try to keep an eye on these things, and if there's any strawberries that are ready at all, I get them picked. Now this part of the green stalk planter, I ripped out the peas that I had planted here. I don't think I'm going to do that again because there's just not enough room in the planter. I've got nasturtiums over here, strawberries up here, and I'm just going to stick to smaller things like that. Over here there's some more peas. When they get finished, I'm just going to tear them out and plant something else. The peas over here look very nice, and I'm going to get them picked right now. My daughter's helping me put some 2x4 welded wire over our bed that we planted yesterday. We finally got that little square bed fixed up and got weed screen in it, new soil. We planted it with radishes, beets, a few flowers, and some leeks. So that's going to be coming on, and that will be exciting. This isn't bad for a morning's harvest. We've got the Loveage, the Lemonbalm, strawberries to go with the rhubarb, and some peas. Everything is very beautiful out here this morning. I love being out in the garden in the morning, especially hearing the birds sing and the wind blowing in the trees, the sun shining. This is a very beautiful day, and I hope you all have such a beautiful day, and don't forget to do it joyfully. We'll see you next time. I was able to get the rhubarb washed off and chopped up, and now I'm going to throw what little bit of strawberries we got today in on them and just freeze it till I can get to it. Peas are washed and ready to go into the fridge. Loveage is drying on the counter, ready to go in the dehydrator, and so is the Lemonbalm. I think that's a good morning's work.